most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How the fuck are you doing, brother?
Let's go. Doing great, brother. Better now that I'm here with you, and even bestest now that I'm with all of you in the chat as well. Great to see you. Happy Friday Eve. We just saw the Eagles get their butts whooped by Jackson Dart. My boy can ball, baby. Little scatterboo. Shout out Arizona.
Welcome to the dart side, baby.
The darts, baby. But we're here to talk about UFC, and we're taking a little trip to Brazil. Can't wait to dive in, baby. Let's go.
Love to see it, baby. Yeah, definitely excited about that game for multiple reasons. You know, reason number one, person I'm going against this week in fantasy in your family league has AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley. They're not performing up to par right now, which is fan-fucking-tastic for me with my low-ass projection to win this game in a league that I've been shitting the bed. And, you know, other problems I've had are having a quarterback that's not shitting the bed every single week. And you know who was not taken up until about an hour and a half ago? Jackson Dart.
There you go. It's written in the stars.
You underestimate my power. Dude, you know that's why he does the...
Like, honestly. Oh, that's
right. Why he does the line.
He did say that.
He said that. Yeah. He said that. I heard that.
Yeah, no, I heard about that.
I know I heard about that. I heard about an interview for sure. I feel like we were kind of pseudo doing the Corey Sandhagen skit. Well, you're not even that good enough, and you're not even going to win the belt though.
We're not the filter.
Dude, he's so good.
He's the best, man. He's the best. Best personality.
Even like the day after he lost to Marab, he's like in the middle of a run. And he's like, you know, he's a great face for the division. He beat me fair and square. But when I watched that tape when I couldn't sleep last night, I saw a man that's beatable. All I have to do is not almost get knocked out in the second round and not get wrestled in every single round. You know, he's a beatable guy. And I'm going to come back stronger, and I will hold that belt someday. And then it cuts to like the character on the other side. He's like, well, you're delusional. And he's like, yes, I am. I fucking love those kids, bro. I hope Corey never changes. He's a great dude for the division and for the UFC in general. Now, as you shouted out to the chat, we got to go to the chat. Dick's Insider, Spit and Fire. He said, Emilianito and Olin, I just wanted you guys to know that if you Uber Eats some food for tonight's show, former UFC fighter Patchy Mix will make sure your fries and burgers are fresh to order. McFlurries too. Man, are you trying to tell me they got the soft serve machine fixed at McDonald's? Is that facts? Is that cap, as the kids say? He also said, if y'all want breakfast for dinner, Patchy showed he's much better at making McGriddles and McChickens than winning fights in the UFC. My guy is just going in.
DC, I mean, Mr. Cider always comes from the top rope. I think we know that. But great to have you as always, DC. And I was thinking it was clickbait. I thought he was, you know, pulling a Josh in us, but his profile picture certainly suggests that Patchy is now a McDonald's manager, and that's his team. Let's go.
It's a great profile picture. Pro Catch, what's up, man? Love seeing you in the chat. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries. Yes, they do, my friend. Yes, they do. They always do on this channel. Dart season, baby. Let's fucking go.
Dude, he's got
bro,
some
Dart and Scatabo. Scatabo is like a fucking psychopath,
bro. And people were doubting him, man. I mean, my thing is, And they said the same thing with Ashton Genty. It's like when you're thick and strong as the way, and you're built like a freaking bowling ball.
He's built like a brick shithouse, as my dad would say.
He was doing that in college. No one could tackle him, and it's translating. Love to see it. He was a dog.
Throwing darts is nasty work. I love that. That's a good quote. Throwing darts, baby.
He's throwing them like Dan Marino with the picture and all. I mean, that is very reminiscent.
Love Scatabo at Arizona State. Brother is a beast, dude. He just charges forward. I love the clip of him hitting the block for Dart, like, what was it, a week or two ago? And then he walks up to him on the sidelines, and he's like, I told you I was going to put my head through his fucking face. Let's go.
Hey, he did.
And I got you, baby.
The guy was like 6'6", 350 pounds. Unfortunately,
and he rocked this shit, bro.
Yeah, you guys got the dub. You guys got the last laugh, but he certainly made a name for himself.
Ooh, you know how long I've been waiting for this?
ASU Scatabo is goated. One of the just funnest collegiate players out there. His game against Texas, they lost. It was in the semifinals, to go to the national championship. Dude balled out. He had like 300 yards. Just an absolute monster. I mean,
he's still balling out right now. It's 34-17, and the game still has 4 minutes in which to work, or 3 minutes, 45 seconds.
He's got freaking like 30 points, and of course, I'm going against him. I'm coming off a loss to Mary in our UFC fantasy league, and now Jake is saying no mas.
I hate that we both, like, we were at the top. We were kings, bro.
We're still there. But
and then we both had our first L in that week. And I'll tell you this, I was undefeated in another league, and I had my first L in that league too, and I was projected to win that game 80% going into it.
Oh my gosh, the fantasy gods did not want to see us win.
It was tough, bro. I like that, and then we lost all our fucking bets damn near on 320. It was a tough weekend for your boy when it comes to fantasy or just gambling in general. But I digress. We'll get into the Dana White's Contender Series recap real quick, and then we'll jump into these fights for UFC Brazil. Now, we obviously took the underdogs in all of these fights. Luckily, we saved face with 2 of them. 2 out of 3 of these dogs ended up cashing. We turned the 5 units that we put down into, let's see, it was 4.56 units back. So we're down 0.44 units, less than a half unit on the week. And on the entirety of the experiment, which we started in week 3, so we're 6 weeks in now, we are up 3.6 units. So at this rate, I'm liking where this is going to finish, man. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the 2 that actually got us the money. Adrian Luna Martinetti defeated Mark Vologden via unanimous decision. He ended up getting the upset there for us. He was solid plus odds. And then I'll be honest, I didn't look at the fights for this one at all. And even if I did, it's an experiment. We're going to bet the dogs. But I probably would have sprinkled a little bit on Imanol, because we saw him and we liked him a lot in the tough house, and he went out there and got it done in round number 1 over our dog this week. And then Luis Felipe Diaz, holy fuck, man. Jeez. Head kick or submission. He ended up getting the rear naked choke over Donovan Hendrick, and he looked really good doing it, man. He looked big. He looked strong. Pretty sure he got a contract, and he saved us some units, man. Saved us some units. So, solid Dana White's Contender Series. Anything you want to add about those fights, Nato?
Yeah, brother. I mean, they're entertaining as all get out. They're on Tuesday nights, so it doesn't necessarily conflict with much else besides maybe basketball coming up and I guess maybe baseball as well. But no, it was a really, really fun series, fun season. Really glad we were able to do it. And big takeaway is, man, at that level, even in the UFC, we've seen some crazy odds, some crazy underdogs go out there and take care of business. And I think this is a perfect platform to do that. You just never know. And we like our underdogs around here. So it was fun, man. I can't wait to do it again. Let's go.
Absolutely, man. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this card. Should we start top to bottom again as we have been for the last couple?
Ooh. That is
been liking that flow.
I like it. I do like it.
Change it up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and start at the top here. We'll start with Charlie Olives, Mr. Charlie Oliveira, coming in against Mateusz Gamrot. This is going to be an incredibly fun fight, but I feel like I would just be an absolute asshole if I didn't give the floor to my co-host first. Nano, tell the people how you see this fight playing out and who your dog in the race is.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. I'll leave some meat on the bones for you, and I'll take a quick step back. I liked how we did the hype meter for that last fight card, UFC 320. We'll keep it going here for UFC Fight Night Brazil. And I feel like it's a solid 7. I think it would have been an 8, maybe even an 8.5 if our boy Randy Rude Boy Brown was going in there against Gabriel Bonfim. That was an absolute banger. I had that one circled. Fortunately, didn't pan out. Not to mention the Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev was going to be the original bout. Really, really was excited about that stylistically. But we got Gamrot. He stepped up to the plate, and Diego Lopez threw his name in the ring. Like, that would have really got me out of my seat as well. But the
original Vicente Luque fight, I think, had a little bit more heat on it as well, if I'm being honest with you. Vicente Luque versus the Ponzi scheme. That would have been a fun bout.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I got to say, of all the kind of replacements that they've had, I got to tell you, the Joel Alvarez one against Vicente Luque is fireworks.
Man, that shocked me a little bit, making his debut in the division and coming in here against an absolute stud, a staple in the division, if you will. I'm excited to break that one down, but that is a huge jump for the Spaniard and Joel Alvarez. And hey, back to our boy, Charlie Olives, Mr. Do Bronx, baby. I mean, just seeing him arrive and seeing the freaking mall full of people, and you see his team behind him, and you just see him coming down the elevator. Pure aura. I mean, this guy is looking for revenge, right? He's coming off a loss, and just like all of us, we want to wipe that taste out of our mouth. And I'm picturing Charles Do Bronx to go out there and have a similar game plan to which he did against a Benil Dariush. He's going to walk forward. You got to get Mateusz Gamrot moving backwards, moving side to side. You got to be leading the dance. And I know Charles is going to go in there and want to mix it up. The reality is he's going to have to go through hell, right? He's going against Mateusz Gamrot, the absolute gamer, and his game of choice is wrestling, right? We know what he's about. But again, you watch that Dan Hooker fight, and a true BA, a true striker, and someone that has that it factor can make Gamrot look human. And I think Charles Do Bronx is going to go out there and do it. I still have not looked at the odds. I'd like to not have that go into my breakdown. And I'm a little biased, let's be honest. I'm Team Chute Box. I like Diego Lima and the team out there. Love everything Charles has done. It looks like he's at least on Tapology, he's a slight underdog, which Charlie Olives at plus odds, I might sprinkle a little something on that. But my brother, talk to me and talk to the people. Am I talking crazy here? How you see this main event going down in Brazil?
Yeah, as of right now, it's a minus 102 for Charles Oliveira versus minus 118. Very, very slight favorite in this pick'em fight against Gamrot.
Yep.
It's a true pick'em. 102 to 118, both on the minus side of things. No plus odds, no juice on either side here. I mean, if you think it's going to go over 3.5 rounds, you could take the over 3.5 for plus 100 right now.
I like that a lot.
A little bit of juice there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the same time, like, I think it's more worth it to take the straight bet on Mateusz Gamrot. I just think that he's the better fighter. I like Charles Oliveira. I think he's fantastic. But I think he's typically able to win fights when someone is too respectful of the grappling that he presents and is afraid to follow him when they have him hurt. Mateusz is not that guy, right? Like, he's not afraid of the grappling. He has fantastic grappling. The bout with him versus Arman Tsarukyan is one of the greatest grappling exchange bouts that you'll ever see in the UFC, in my opinion. Some of the best scrambles, hands down, I've ever seen in the sport. So, yeah, give me Gamrot in this one. I think he's going to outwork him. I think he's going to outclass him, and I think it's going to be wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. I think wrestling is going to outwork the jiu-jitsu opposition here. ProCatch says Charlie by leg triangle.
Ooh.
All right.
I mean, he can fall right into it. He could be silly and jump to Gilly. I mean, it's plausible.
I mean, if Gamrot follows him to the top and he's not careful, I could absolutely see Charlie throwing up a triangle on him. Joel should KO him, but that line is a little wide for my blood. Yeah, I agree. We'll definitely get to that line, man. Don't you worry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm on Gamrot. Looks like we're split on this one. If I was drinking, we'd be betting a shot on it, but we're not.
Morale. A little ego boost here.
Maybe we'll have to bet against each other on our cycle parlays, which fucking crash.
We'll
bet some push-ups on
anytime
it. 20 push-ups.
Like that. There we go.
20 anytime push-ups. I'm down for that. And with that, we move into the bantamweight division for a bout between Deiveson Figueiredo and Montel Quick Jackson. Montel Jackson, I've said this fun fact for the last 3 times we talked about his fights. I will say it now for a 4th time, and I'll say it every time he fights. The guy wears larger gloves than Francis Ngannou, and he's a bantamweight. They have to custom make his gloves to fit his hands. That is a wild fun fact.
That is crazy.
And that's a man that can knock just about anybody that's in front of him out. And Deiveson Figueiredo, make no mistake about it, he's got great angle cutting and things like that, but very confident in his chin, and he is there to be hit. He is there in front of you. And he's not really been dropped like that. So I'm going to take the bigger guy in this one, Nano. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it sweet because I think that the fight's going to be very similar to that. I think it's going to be short and sweet action from Montel Jackson. I think he gets it done inside the distance. Not only that, I think he gets it done inside 2.
Ooh. Man, that is that's a fair point, my brother. That is definitely a fair point. I mean, when you look at Montel Jackson and his abilities, I mean, the streak he's on right now is absolutely unprecedented. And the big moment he had was that knockout over Damon Blackshear. We thought going into that he is the man. He's gonna go out there and just put a masterclass performance, but that's not what happened, right? We saw Damon walk right into a stiff, sharp left hand from Montel, and that quickness, right? I mean, he doesn't have that name by happenstance. The dude is lightning fast. He's gonna have 4 years of youth. He's going to have less tread on the tires. He's going to have 7-inch reach. He's going to be 5 inches taller than our boy, Deiveson Figueiredo, a.k.a. Figgy. Can't you see? And sometimes this fight just hypnotized me, my brother. It's hard for me to bet against my boy Figgy. I just feel like he has a good chin, even though he did get whooped up by our boy Corey Sandhagen. Oh, man. I mean, is Montel in that Sandhagen range? I guess that's really the question being asked here. It sounds like you believe in the hype. You do think Montel Jackson is Himothy. And to be contrarian, I mean, my gut's telling me Figgy. I looked at that Daniel Marcos fight.
Wow.
I know Montel quick looks.
Let me ask you this to interject. How do you see Figgy getting it done? Do you think he gets it done inside the distance?
No. If he can avoid the knockout punch from Quick. I mean, all it takes is one. I mean, Quick is so good inside. He's going to have that range. Figgy's going to have to wrestle him. He's going to have to make it muddy. Keep him up against the fence. Don't get hit on the end of that punch. And it's only 3 rounds. That does
7.5 inches of reach advantage.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, bro. He's also going to be punching 4 inches up.
Ugh.
It's a recipe for disaster. And Montel bottles up and throws, bro. Like the way that the way he uncorks his shots is so nice.
Dude, Tapology is completely spit 50-50 going into this. Like that's
wild stuff.
Guys, like it's a hard one. I
hear me out on this though. There's juice on the under. Plus 150 on the under 2.5.
I think it's because they think with Montel Jackson being a minus 310, I think they assume he's gonna go out there and knock him out, in my opinion. But
that's the thing. Under 2.5, I think he gets it done inside the first 2. Even if Figgy goes out there and gets a flash KO or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I don't think Figgy's gonna be able to go out there and outpoint this guy. He's too long and he's too big and young, dude. Like that's
the thing. Yeah, Figgy's 37.
Everything is in his advantage statistically.
And it's worth noting. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Brazilians have really shitty luck in Brazil.
Lazy.
Like, interesting.
How could you say something so controversial yet so brave? Interesting tidbit. Montel Jackson has only ever fought outside of the States once. He lost that fight. Who was that against? You don't mind me asking, Lazy. That's
wasn't within the last few years. He's on a 5-fight win streak as of now.
Good
in Montel, but I mean, it's only a 4-hour difference. They're going to be 4 hours ahead, so it's not as extreme as like an Australian card or somewhere else where it's like a true night and day difference. That
Brett Johns
can be potentially a caveat. Let's see how far back was that?
2020.
2020. And it was in the UFC, which is fair.
But the Pikey, I mean, come on, with all due respect, he's 21-5. The dude was a fucking beast. And I mean, he fought that guy at the right time.
Yeah. No, he did. And yeah,
he fought him at the absolute right time.
Yeah, he did. And man, you're probably right. If I'm being honest, like the more I sit on this, and again, I didn't look at the odds, so I'm thinking like, I could see Figgy going out wrestling, like kind of making it muddy, but no, I think
the odds are wild. It's minus 310 on the odds right now for Montel.
Yeah, and because the thing with Figgy too, he's willing to take those chances. Like he's almost.
That's the thing. If you like Figgy, like I'm down to sprinkle something like a fifth of a unit or something on there.
Ooh.
Plus 250 right now.
I don't know, man. You kind of talked me out of it, my brother. Let me
Okay,
know.
I'm happy. I'm happier with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm a fan, and I've seen so many good moments from a Figgy. But yeah, as of recent, losing to Peter Yan, Peter Yan's an absolute stud, one of the best strikers in the division, and he's got really, really good defense when it comes to takedowns, striking, and then we're talking about, of course, Sandhagen. If there's no Marab, I mean, Sandhagen might be the champ, and it might be the Sandhagen era we're in. So I don't hold those too much, but I think the age, I think the freaking reach is a lot, and the speed are all leaning Montel, and that's probably why the odds are what they are. I'm just rooting for my boy Figgy, though. That's it. But if I'm putting money anywhere, we got to put on Montel under 2.5, like you said. That is the bet to make.
Yeah. I'm already convinced that we should at least do half a unit on that. So I think we'll go ahead and hammer that while it's at plus 150. We'll do a half unit on that one, and we'll move into the next bout, which is taking place in the welterweight division. And I'm excited as fuck to talk about this one. It is a late replacement in Joel Alvarez versus Vicente Luque. Now, before I hand you the wheel to take this one over on the first spit here, I think it is worth noting, right? Vicente Luque said, like 4 fights ago, that he had seen a doctor, and the doctor told him that he had the brain bleed. That's a scary thing. Like you've got to think that inhibits your ability to go out there and give it 100% without having some kind of doubt, some kind of worry in the back of your mind, right? And you have a young, hungry Joel Alvarez stepping up on short notice. But if we look at it on paper, he's not that much younger, right? It's a 1 year age difference. Everything else is fairly close. Obviously, Joel is a little bit taller, a little bit longer fighter, even though he is coming up for the first time to welterweight in such a big stage. Nano, take it over. Tell us how you see this welterweight debut going for Joel Alvarez.
Oop, beating myself. Man, this is a fun one, man. This is one of those fights that I'm going to be glued to my seat. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know who's going to come out on top. It feels like Joel Alvarez is the bet to make. I think when I was looking at his fights and his track record in the lightweight division, I mean, he's talented as all get. He's got some phenomenal striking. He's got some really good submissions, good reversals, everything. But it felt like he was a little bit of a weight bully. I mean, the homie's 6'3". I don't know how the hell he's making 155. You see him now, dude probably walks around close to 2 bills. I mean, dude's massive. Only an inch or two reach, so that 4 inches of height is not going to do that much when it comes to the striking, but his leg kicks will definitely keep Vicente at bay. And I got to assume that he's just gotten too big, that this is going to be one of those transitions where he's going to be full. He's going to be stronger. Curious to see how the cardio looks in the new weight division. But like you said, I mean, with Vicente Luque and his track record, some of the on and off things outside the octagon, like you mentioned, health, even just the mentality. I could have swore I thought he retired or was talking about it. Maybe it was because of the injury itself, or I guess the health concerns altogether. But then you just look at that track record, and anyone that's heavy-handed, Vicente has a problem with, right? Jeff Neal, Joaquin Buckley, Kevin Holland absolutely dominated him. And Joel poses a lot of similar threats. Yeah, I mean, but again, fading all the Brazilians, like I said, I mean, on paper, it makes sense because they just have not had a lot of success on their home turf. Not the best home field advantage, unfortunately, but this is not one where I can sit here and tell you with a good conscience that, take the underdog, take the money. No, I mean, Joel Alvarez, the odds are there for a reason, and he's a problem. He is extremely talented. If this is his right division, he's going to skyrocket and make a name for himself. What do you think, brother? I mean, do you feel a little disrespected, or do you think that's appropriate here for someone making his debut in a new weight class? How you feeling, brother?
I feel like it's not disrespectful only because everything you said is true, right? Like there were talks about retiring due to the injury. He has been on and off since the injury. And I mean, like right now, I think the best line to pick for Joel Alvarez is to win by submission. You can get that at plus 165 as it stands. And I realistically see it playing out that way. You could also take him by KO/TKO at plus 140 right now, which isn't bad either. But again, I just think he's more likely to go out there and get it done by submission. most of his wins, to the tune of 17 of them, 77% of his wins are by way of submission. The guy is an absolute machine when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I will definitely be putting him on a cycle parlay and just betting him outright by submission. I mean, he's plus 165, bro. I think he gets it done. And let me just look at the inside the distance here.
His last 4 wins have been by finish. Even his loss was a finish as well. So he is not needed the judges in the past few years. I do like that DraftKings, and big shout out there, our preferred sports betting sports book here. 86% of the bets have been placed on our boy Joel Alvarez at minus 550. That's telling me something.
Yeah. And if you think he gets it done inside the distance and your heart is telling you don't know if it's going to be a knockout or a sub, you can get him at minus 250, which is basically half the price you're spending on him, just taking him outright, right? So you take him at minus 250. Again, you put a unit on there. If that's a $50 unit, then you're talking about $70 back. So you're making a $20 return on that profit or investment. So again, I'm going to be a little bit more risky with my money here. I'm going to take him with a half unit on him to win by submission. And yeah, I mean, I might double down. Yeah, I'm not going to double down on Montel Jackson. I'm going to keep my Montel Jackson pick just the under 2.5. And then I'm going to put him on my cycle parlay by knockout. Yeah.
I like it.
I like that. I like that a lot. And with that, we move on into... Actually, no, I'll give my pick. I didn't give my pick. It's Joel Alvarez, though. I feel like you guys already know that. You could tell in my tone. You could tell in what I was saying, my candor. Yeah, the line is not disrespectful. The line is accurate. Am I betting on him money line? Fuck no, dude. Minus 450 is atrocious, dude. I'm not... There's no juice in that for me. So I'd be more likely to take the minus 250 odds at him inside the distance. But even that, too rich for my blood. I'd rather take those plus odds on him by submission and just put him on the cycle parlay and see if we hit that. Either way, if we hit outright, it'll cover the cycle parlay and that bet. So we move on into the heavyweight division for a bout between Jhonata, Diniz, and Mario Pinto. My goodness. Got a guy that's 10-0, and Mario Pinto looks really solid, young as hell, 27 years of age, coming in against a 34-year-old Jhonata Diniz, who at this point kind of feels like a UFC veteran, right? Which is a bit wild to say. But he's been here for a while. He's been fighting these guys, and he's not looked bad doing it. So he's coming in here with one loss, is Jhonata Diniz. This is going to be a tough test for him, coming in here against the undefeated Pinto. Gotta think Pinto's going to come out there and throw heavy hands. The guy has heavy hands to throw. And when you look at what he typically does in his fights, 6 wins, so 60% of the time, easy math because he's only got 10 fights. 60% of the time he wins by knockout. 10% of the time by submission. The other 30% of the time by decision. I think he gets it done. I think he probably gets it done via knockout. Am I going to bet on this one? No, dude. It's just too close for me. He's making his UFC debut. Again, he's looked good. Or no, it's not his UFC debut. His UFC debut was against Austin Lane, though, so it kind of didn't count, right? Greg Hardy has a knockout over that guy, so it's tough. This is his true UFC debut. If he gets past somebody like Jhonata Diniz, he belongs in the top 15 and in the heavyweight division of the UFC. It's a shallow division. He'll make his climb to the top very, very quickly with an impressive performance, and I think he gets just that on Saturday night. Nano, how do you feel about this one?
Man, I feel excited about this one, my brother. Anytime we get 2 badass heavyweights to go in there and swing and bang, don't blink, because this fight's probably going to be over in the first round. I'm definitely feeling that way about it. But boy, am I split. I mean, Tapology, 74% is leaning Pinto, 50% even on the betting lines right now. And you will get Mario at plus odds. I'll start with him. He might be special, my brother. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, you watch people tear dudes apart in the local circuit, and it's impressive. But to your point, can he do it against a UFC staple, someone that is at the top of the top? Fun fact, Mario Pinto fought three dudes in the same night in some local tournament. I mean, I don't even know how often I've heard that, like just in general. At least in this era, we're not talking the 1990s or the early days of UFC. So the fact that he was able to go out there and do things like that when you watch him, he moves really well for a big boy. Like you see it in that Austin Lane fight, he's moving, he's ducking, and when he just throws those hands out there, it looks effortless. Doesn't take a lot of emphasis to go out there. He'll just throw the hand out, and you see bodies at the floor. I find that to be really impressive. But I do think technically, as far as like pure technique, striking, boxing, kickboxing, Jhonata Diniz is as legit as it gets in the heavyweight division. Man, I think I want to see it before I believe it. And they both did beat the shit out of Austin Lane, so it kind of neutralizes any MMA math I could try to use. But I'm just going to lean the guy that has been in there against UFC caliber time after time and has become victorious. Typology doesn't love it, but I just feel like Jhonata is tough as nails. We've seen him walking around at a UFC Expo in one of the we were watching the piano bar and everything. I remember just seeing the Team Diniz, two big boys. I'm like, that's definitely Jhonata. Man, so again, I'm leaning the Brazilian. He's going to have a little bit of the home field advantage. Both of these guys are fully capable of ending the fight in the first round. I just think in terms of technique and the way I seen Mario in a cocky way leave his hands down, he moves around. I see too many holes for Jhonata Diniz to slip right in there. But you never know with these big boys, right? And I do think, Jhonata is the betting favorite by minus 135, but you get Mario plus 114. How you feeling, brother? Are we gonna finally be on the same page here?
I mean, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I think Jhonata Diniz is the better fighter. He's the UFC caliber fighter, and he should come out here and win this fight. But there might be something special about the kid across from him, right? However, I gotta endorse Lazy Bet's comment here because I 100% agree with this. This feels like a 1-800 gambler fight. Like you don't bet on this. Diniz is definitely the more experienced striker. Believe he had some K1 experience and glory. Yep. Absolutely did. And yeah, Grimy said Lane almost KO'd Pinto. Exactly.
Yeah, it was harder for him to get through it. Yeah, both with the same outcome, which fair, but it took him a bit longer. You're not just no problems, no questions asked. So that's got to mean something, right?
100%, bro. 100%. And everyone in the chat saying that the only thing they'd take on this is the under. You can get the under 1.5 for plus 175 right now if you think it's going to be a short fight like that. But yeah. I'm avoiding this shit like the plague. I'm not betting on this one. I'm staying away from it as if it's a live hand grenade. No chance, kid. With that being said, we move on down to the featherweight division for a bout between Ricardo, Ramos, and Kaan Ofli. Man, this is going to be a test of experience, right? 17-7 versus 12-4, 30 years of age versus 32 years of age, a 4-inch reach, or no, sorry, an 8-inch reach disadvantage. No, Jesus Christ. 6-inch reach disadvantage right in the middle there.
There we go.
6-inch reach disadvantage for Kaan Ofli. And man, only a 2-inch height differential for Ricardo Ramos, right? Like he's only 2 inches taller, but he has 6 inches of reach. Quite the ape index on this. So, I mean, look, that alone makes me want to take my guy, Ricardo Ramos, right? I just think he's the better fighter. Kaan Ofli is on a 2-fight skid against Muhammad, the mountain guy, Naimov, and Myron Santos. And I know it's not mountain guy. I know it's Hillman, but still. And his only wins were in the Ultimate Fighter, right? Against Rody Rhodes and Nathan Fletcher. Like, he hasn't gotten that first win in the UFC. I just don't think this is going to be the time that he gets it done. Meanwhile, Ricardo Ramos, Carcaixinha has done pretty decently, right? Like, yes, he's lost 3 out of his last 4. I get it. But who's he lost to? Juicy J. Julian Erosa? He beats most people he fights. Charles Air Jourdain? Dude's a fucking savage. Chepe Mariscal? Dude is somehow more of a savage. And he has wins over Danny Chavez and Josh Culibao, right? Like, Billy Algeo. I think he sent him out of the UFC when he beat Billy Algeo. And his other losses in the UFC are to Zubair Tukhugov, who trains with Khabib and the boys, and Lerone Murphy, who you might have fucking heard of. And that was back in 2020. So I got to go with Carcaixinha, Ricardo Ramos in this one. I think he gets it done. I think he's the smarter fighter. I'd like to think he probably gets it done in decision fashion. Ofli is pretty hard to put out and durable. So I think he stands the test of time, but doesn't get his hand raised at the end of the day. Nano, how do you see this one playing out?
That's a great breakdown, my brother. Just to add my 2 cents, I agree. I mean, Ricardo Ramos is who I'm leaning here. I'm going with the Brazilian. I'm going with the Ben favorite. The big takeaway for me and watching his style is the dude might be one of the best spinning back fist throwers I think that is out there right now. Dude has multiple finishes in that fashion. I know you mentioned obviously some of the wins are on that Dana White Contender Series getting into the UFC. But again, Danny Chavez, spinning back elbow, fought some other Russian dude, spinning back elbow, fought another guy. I mean, he lands it with purpose, and that is impressive in and of itself, but he does have the ability to back it up in multiple ways with the striking, with his forward pressure, with his jiu-jitsu. Find out a team alpha male. Shout out to Uriah Faber and those boys. That even gives me a little extra boost of confidence. I'm a really big fan of that camp. Shout out Sacramento. Got the shirt on, too, just by happenstance. Is your eye on the back of this? Oh, no. Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
There he is. Come on, let's go. No
Jermaine Durandame and Aspen Ladd action there.
Sheesh. Pretty sure we were both there. Were we not?
I was at the UFC SAC card before that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how funny that would have been. We were both in the stands.
The Uriah retirement fight, and then he came back.
Yep.
The one I went to was headlined by Paige Van Zant and Karate Hottie. Colby Covington was on the undercard.
Oh my gosh, what a stacked card!
It was.
I mean, granted, that was before
stupid good.
Yeah, that was before he went the villain arc. But no, I mean, I just like Ricardo's skills. I like the home field advantage. I like his capabilities, the youth, the 6-inch reacher, man. That is a big jump. And when you look at Kaan, strong fighter, he is durable as all get out. But he does have a TKO loss coming off back-to-back losses. That last one against Muhammad Naimov. When I was watching it, and I have a lot of respect for Muhammad. I do think he's a really good fighter, but I didn't like the body language I saw from Kaan. It felt like kind of knew he was losing, and I just didn't see him really put that foot on the gas like you would want to see a fighter do. All of which, I'm leaning Ricardo Ramos. Let's see the Brazilians have a good streak here, and I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised if you see the back spinning elbow finish. He's going to be throwing it. He's going to be looking for it. It'll probably land, and it'll probably put your lights out. 9 times out of 10. Works every time.
Lazy Pet said, I see that version of Faber and immediately think of Mountain Dew and amped energy drink. Facts, bro.
Hell yeah.
We'll tap out shirt action. Bro, let me read the fights. Let me read the fights that were on this random fight night. UFC on Fox 22. Van Zant versus Waterson. Early prelims. We had Bojan Vlahovic and Sultan Aliyev, right? Nope, that's fine. Hector Sandoval versus Freddie Serrano. That's fine. Nobody knows those guys. Fair. Eddie Wineland versus Takeyo Mizugaki.
Eddie Wineland.
Early prelim.
Yep. Damn.
Okay, now we're getting into the prelims. Leslie Smith versus a name you might have heard of, Irene Aldana.
Oh, damn.
Up next, we got 2 guys you might have heard of. Hot Sauce Scott Holtzman against Josh Emmett.
Oh.
James Muntasari against Alex Morono.
Oh, shoot. Great White.
Brian Barberena versus Colby Covington.
Shoot. Damn, what a bang. I didn't even know they squared off. That's sick.
Cole Miller versus Mizoto Hirota. Henrique de Silva versus Paul Krieg.
Ooh, dude, that's some stars.
And now we're in the main card. Here we go. Alan Joban versus Mike Perry to start it off.
Dude, Perry. The BKFC
Uriah
champ.
Faber versus Brad One Punch Pickett.
Nice.
Sage Northcott versus Mickey Gall. And then Michelle Waterson and Paige Van Zant to head it all off.
Damn. Let's go. That's fire.
Dude, I do remember when Leslie Smith's cauliflower ear busted. That was disgusting. Her ear was just like, gross. It was nasty stuff, bro. This is nasty stuff. So yeah, that was a fantastic card. That was a fun ass card. It's always great to go back and look at those cards because you're like, man, it's funny because like I was excited as just like a diehard fan, right? Because I'm gonna watch every fight. I was there for the early prelims. Now you go back and you're like, 80% of these names are somebody now. Like they're ranked.
Yeah, it's like when you see those previous posts, and I think it was it Ilya and someone else was on the same undercard. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm blanking, but I mean, that's how it goes, right? They got to start somewhere. So some of these guys might be talking about might be in a similar spot.
The first fight card I ever went to had, let's see here, Steven Seiler versus Noad Lahat, Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Juliana Lima was the second early prelim. Andreas Stahl versus Gilbert Burns. Tiago Traitor versus Akbar Areola.
Okay.
Let's see here. Tim the Dirty Bird Means versus Hernani Perpetuo. Kyle the King Kingsbury versus Patrick Cummins. Legendary mustache. Yeah. Darren Cruikshank versus Jorge Masvidal on the prelims. Josh Thompson versus King Bobby Green. Clay Guida versus Dennis Bermudez. Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, Big Nog versus Anthony Johnson.
Big Nog, nice. Shoot.
Or sorry, Little Nog versus Anthony Johnson.
Yep.
And Robbie Lawler versus Matt Brown to headline it.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Brawler Lawler.
The Brawler Lawler, baby. That was a nasty fight. Nasty fight. And I was hooked. Man. Alex Pip, dude, exactly what I said earlier. It's always great going back and watching some of those old cards. You never knew what bangers you got during the time. 1000%, bro. I encourage everyone to pick one random card from a random year a day on Fight Pass to revisit. It's my dinner time routine. Brother, I literally do this every time my lady goes out of town. I reinstall Fight Pass on my TV in the front room because I usually use it on the computer. And then I go and I just like randomly pick a number, like 1 to 150, and I watch a card between UFC 1 and 150. And if I'm like having a hard time picking a number, I'll just tell Grok to pick a random number or something. It's a good time.
Love that.
I watched UFC 8 with Shan that way a long time ago, and I think that's how I actually got the kid into UFC. It's crazy the faces you'll see in the crowd, the fighters you'll stumble across on the card. It's great. Dude, Gordon Ramsay being there and shit, like it's wild, dude. Never even thought about looking in the crowd. That's a great thought, Lazy. No, it's fucking amazing, dude. Like there was a fight where like Paul Walker, rest his soul, was in the crowd, and he's like, yeah, you know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, and I just want to see a good fight tonight. I'm a big fan of the grappling and this, that, and the other. Like, it's cool to hear these guys talk, you know, and see how big of a fan they have been for such a long time. So, speaking of being a fan, we're a big fan, and we have another fight to talk about in the featherweight division, and it comes down between Lucas Almeida and Michael Aswell. I mean, this is going to be an interesting fight, right? A little bit of a experience discrepancy, 10-3 versus 15-4. Lucas Almeida, obviously the more experienced fighter coming into this one. Nano, before I say much more, how do you see this one playing out?
Man, as much as I want to root for the Texas kid, Michael Aswell, to go out there across enemy lines and get it done, I find it, it's hard for me to bet on him. I do think he has some good skills, good wrestling background, strong, not as many fights as you pointed out as well. A lot of youth. I mean, 25 years young, going up against Lucas Almeida, who's 34. That usually does scare me. I'm not gonna lie. Don't love seeing that. But when I turn on the tape and I watch Lucas Almeida fight, I mean, the dude is legitimate. I'm surprised he's gonna be at plus odds here because I just feel like he's one of those guys that fights with ill intent. Everything he throws is trying to put your lights out. And again, like I'm going to keep going back to the fact that they're fighting in his home court, in his backyard. I think he go out there and find a finish, man. I'm going to take the underdog here in Lucas Almeida to go upset the Texas kid, Michael Aswell. But what do you think, brother? I mean, am I just leaning into the Brazilian fan base too much? It looks like 64% think that it's Aswell. He is the minus 148 favorite. What do you think everyone's seeing here? How am I wrong, brother? Talk to me.
You know, I actually think everybody else is wrong. I'm with you here. I think Lucas Almeida is the better fighter. He's the more tenured fighter. Again, you got to look at what the guy's done inside and outside of the UFC, right? Inside of the UFC, he's beaten the Michael Trezanos and Timmy Kwambas of the world. And who's he lost to? He lost to Danny Silva, Pat Sabatini, and Andre Fili. These guys all have really, really great grappling. The guy standing across from him, not a big grappler. He has 5 of his wins by knockout, the rest of them by way of decision. He typically likes to go out there and grind against you if he can't get a knockout. And I think Lucas Almeida is the wrong guy to do that against, right? He's going to present a lot of problems for that type of game plan. And I also think he'll be able to outlast the opposition. He brings a 2-inch reach advantage here, as well as a 2-inch height advantage. So his opponent's going to be punching up, he's going to be punching down, and he's going to have the longer reach. It's just a recipe for disaster for Michael Aswell. And as a knockout artist, you have to be able to work your way inside and get inside to cut those angles and get those shots landed. It's going to be tough. I think Almeida has the much better resume, much better skill set, and much better fight IQ. Give me Almeida unless he comes into this shit with a crazy injury, right? And yeah, like you said, you're getting him at dog odds for the flat rate. I'm going to take him at plus 125, and I'm feeling bullish. I'm going to put a half unit on it. I think this hits. I'm fairly confident in this. I almost want to take him by decision for my part of the cycle parlay. So I don't know. I'll see. I might come back to that on that one, but I am definitely hammering the line on the half unit for money line. Lucas Almeida. That'll be one of my dogs for sure in the dog competition with those boys from across the pond. And with that, we move into the prelims, folks. We are going down to the flyweight division for a bout between Rafael Filho and Clayton Carpenter. This is another fun bout, if I'm being completely honest here, folks. Look, Rafael Filho is one of these guys that, I'll be honest with you, I really thought was going to be possibly one of the next big guys. He looked really good out the gates. He started off strong, and then he's kind of had a bit of a bumpy ride once he started to fight some of the upper echelon guys. But coming into this one, I mean, I like his odds. I really do. A lot of people on Tapology would bet against me here. But again, like if we look at what he's done, he's beaten Ode Osborne. He's beaten Daniel Perez. He lost to fucking Mohamed Makayev and Alan Nascimento. Like those are not bad losses. Both of those losses have aged extremely well. And I get it. Clayton Carpenter is a stud. He's American. You want to root for him. USA, USA. But he also went out there and got wrestle fucked by Tagirul Bekov. So, I mean, why don't we think that Rafael Filho is going to be able to do the same thing, bro? I simply think that Rafael is a bad stylistic matchup for the man across from him who typically does like to go out there, apply the pressure, and either get a sub or a knockout, right? He's a finisher. He's a prolific finisher. But has he faced someone that does just what he does, right? Like if you look at percentage-wise, 63% submission, 31% knockout for one guy. The other guy is 50% submissions and 50% submissions, 25% knockout. So they have almost the same point spread. One of them just has a little bit more decisions, right? So what happens when you go against another prolific finisher that might be better at both the things that you do well? I think that's what we're going to see on Saturday. And I think Rafael Filho is going to go out there and get it done. And you also get him at plus 102 right now, which I love. I'm probably going to put a half unit on that guy as well. Nano, talk me out of it.
Man, I really like both these guys. I do want to just take a second to appreciate the stylistic matchup we're going to have here. Rafael Filho, I mean, the dude he's fun. Like, I do like rooting for the guy. I want to see him do well. Loved hearing about his story. Fighting out at Jose Aldo's camp in Brazil, wants to carry on the torch. Somebody that loved fighting, a lifelong student of the game. Maybe not always necessarily in camps and, not this young prodigy like Clayton Carpenter, who I'll talk about in a second here, but just a true fan of the game and has been putting it together. He is really, really good. I mean, that you mentioned the Muhammad Mokaev loss. I mean, need I remind y'all, he almost ripped off his freaking leg. That was the fight that Muhammad Mokaev basically allowed him to rip his knee and his leg apart. Did not tap. He might be the only person in the world that would do that. 9 out of 10 people.
I think him and Mikey Musumeci are probably the only two people that wouldn't tap to that.
I mean, dudes must be made out of rubber. I don't know how the hell he got out of that. And this was in the 3rd round as well, and still came back, got on top, took care of business. That scares me a little bit. But again, I think stylistically, like Rafael is fun. He's gonna go out there and leave it all out in the octagon. But he's been rocked. He can bounce back. He does have a chin, and I just think when I look at Clayton Carpenter, I do, and shout out Arizona from Phoenix, but he is a true prodigy. He is as good as it gets when it comes to us Americans and having somebody that could be somebody. I like Clayton Carpenter a lot. I mean, as much as I love both these guys. I'm over here glazing them both, but I'm leaning Clayton here. I'm leaning the younger fighter. I'm leaning the guy that has literally fought in competitive atmosphere since he was 5 years old. His dad got him into fighting at 5 years old. And then since then, you see a truly polished, well-rounded fighter who is now approaching his prime. Rafael Filho is probably on the back 9 at 32. Clayton Carpenter, 29. May not sound like a lot on paper, but if you've lived through those years, or as I'm going through it now, yeah, I would take the 29-year-old me any day and twice on Sunday. and Saturday night here as well, because that's who we're going with the guy. And you hit the nail on the head. Everything Rafael can do, Clayton, I think, can just do a little bit better. It's a game of inches, y'all, and I'm leaning with the American on this one. Can't completely fade our Americans. Come on now. Shout out CC, man. Go Clayton Carpenter. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Love it. Love, fucking love it. Let's get it. With that, we will move on into the next bout, which takes place in the heavyweight division. We're back in the heavyweight division, boys and girls. It's going to be a slower bout than this last one we talked about, but that's okay. We're talking about Vitor Petrino, who has looked very good since moving up in weight, in my opinion. He looks like an absolute stud. He killed Austin Lane, which we've already talked about tonight. And he's coming in here against Thomas Petersen. It should be an interesting one. But before I take any meat off the bone, Nano, chomping at the bit. Let's hear who you think is going to come out with their hand raised after this heavyweight bout.
Hell yeah. No, you know the vibes, brother. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet here. Vitor Petrino is the man I'm leaning. I think it's his fight to lose. I was really impressed with his last performance. Like you mentioned, the dude is built like an ox. He is made to be a heavyweight, and he still is carrying that athleticism, the speed, and he's got that strength. I mean, just look at him. I mean, the guy is shredded to the gills, which just makes me feel that much more confident. He's at a minus 298 odds currently on DraftKings. He's getting 90% of the bets. When you turn on the tape for Thomas Petersen, he is a well-rounded fighter. He's a solid heavyweight, but I just think Vitor Petrino has that edge. He has that it factor, has the heavier hands, has the better grappling, has a jiu-jitsu. Thomas can certainly score on some takedowns. And if I'm being real, I don't know how Vitor looks in that second or third round, especially at heavyweight. He's carrying more weight now. That can potentially be Thomas's path to victory, is just gutting it out and chasing a finish at the end. Maybe, Vitor just completely runs out of gas. But I'm not going to assume that's going to happen. I'm going to assume both these guys are at their best. Vitor's going to find a way to get it done. Might be a finish. These heavyweights typically tend to end without the judges' scorecards. But what do you think, brother? Are you leaning Vitor here, or do you think the American Thomas Petersen could go out there and shock the world? How you feeling?
Bro, look, I think anybody can go out and shock the world when it comes to heavyweight, if we're being completely honest here, man. But do I think that the train is going to come out here and beat Vitor Petrino? I don't. I think Petrino's too big, too strong. He was beating guys at light heavyweight. Now he's at heavyweight. He's not cutting all the excess weight. He moves way faster than a lot of these guys. And the technique is there. The technique is sound. He's just a big, strong bomber of a guy. He's going to go out there and fucking make that exact sound when his fist connects to his opponent's head. So give me Vitor Petrino. Give me inside the distance, and give me the opportunity to walk the fuck away from this fight from a betting standpoint. Not doing it. I don't want to do it, bro. I don't want any part of it. Heavyweight bets, if I've learned anything at all, they're volatile as fuck. Like they're not easy to bet on. Yeah, like you got to be a true degenerate to bet on it. Like and plus, like Vitor Petrino's minus 298. I'd have to take the under 1.5 at plus 154. I don't know that he gets it done that fast. Realistically, Thomas Petersen might have a bit of a gas tank on him. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him pushed by somebody that's that much smaller and that much faster, but we'll see. With that being said, though, I'm definitely gung ho, ready to go on Vitor Petrino to get that one done, and we move on into the next bout, folks. Now, the next bout is, of course, a women's bout, which Sterling, if you know S-Dog's MMA talk, he loves WMMA. So this one's for you, Sterling. This one is a women's bantamweight bout between Irina Alekseeva and Beatriz Mosquita. You got the Russian Ronda, right? Coming in here against Bia. Her nickname is Bia, and if you haven't heard that song, you should look it up. Now, if you don't know anything about Beatriz Mosquita, that's fine. I'm here to tell you. She's 5-0 in her MMA career, right? Those 5 fights, for the most part, have all actually, not for the most part, they all have all been in LFA, which is one of, if not the best feeder promotions for the UFC, in my opinion, today. She got a rear naked choke on the undercard of Silva versus Sonnen. She got a rear naked choke on LFA 194. She got a rear naked choke on LFA 198. She got a illegal kick win because her opponent hit her with an illegal kick at LFA 203. And then she got a TKO via punches in round 2 over Sierra Dinwoody at LFA 211. Now, it's worth noting that if you look at some of the things before then, because I know a lot of you guys and gals don't recognize any of the names or anything on there other than Silva versus Sonnen, which is irrelevant to the point. I'll tell you this. She has a grappling win over Misha Tate just 3 years ago. She armbarred her. And if you look at her grappling losses, right? And I'm talking if you look like she's very active, right? I'm talking like 5 grappling matches in a year active. Her most recent grappling loss is, I mean, like she's just an absolute beast, bro. Like that's it. The chick is a fucking monster. She is. But again, her grappling loss is against Fionn Davies. And no, I'm just going to ask you, without Googling, do you know who Fionn Davies is?
I was going to say, I do not.
That's fine. I'll tell you right now, she has a record in grappling alone of 77-19.
Oh, she's a problem.
She is disgusting on the mat. Like, if you have not seen her highlights or her matches, highly recommend YouTubing Fionn Davies. And it is not Fiona. She hates being called that. It's Fionn Davies. Check out her highlights. She's fan-fucking-tastic. And that's the last chick that beat Mosquita. Oh, and by the way, she couldn't submit her. She beat her on fucking points. So I just think that this Mosquita chick might be a problem. And she's coming in here against someone whose nickname is the Russian Ronda, which, you know, is every indication that she's not a great striker, but she has really good arm bars and or grappling and judo. And she does. We've seen that. She has subpar striking, but good grappling. What happens when we had this conversation earlier, like 3 fights ago? What happens when your opponent does everything you do just a little bit better than you? I think that's what we're going to see with the less experienced opponent in Mosquita. I think she's going to come out here. I think she's going to get the dub, and she's a minus 575 favorite right now over Irina Alekseeva. And I think there's every reason for that. I think it's warranted, man. I just think she's such a good grappler. If she gets past Irina, they're going to pole vault her into the top 15 or right outside of it. She's probably 4 fights away from being a title contender. Mark my words.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you, brother. I do think that Beatriz is special. She's fighting out American Top Team. You see the 5-0 record, which obviously is not like necessarily a lot, but it's because she is an absolute savage on the mat. Great grappler. And when you just like look at Beatriz, I mean, she looks tough. Like, I mean, she's built strong, moves really well. And then, you know, like as soon as she gets a hold of you, it's pretty much like trying to swim in quicksand. It's only a matter of time before you just get absolutely swallowed up. And like you mentioned, Irina, aka the Russian Ronda, outside of just having the nickname Ronda, she's certainly not a Ronda Rousey. She's losing a lot, maybe around at the end of her career. But what I've seen as of late from a Irina Alekseeva is just doesn't really give me a lot of confidence. I think she's solid, but nothing jumps out to me stylistically, for lack of a better phrase. Maybe just a true meat potatoes kind of fighter. And then you just look across the octagon. I just feel like it's only going to be a matter of time. She's going to run across. Irina will probably move around a lot, keep her at bay, land some strikes, might win on the striking differential. But as soon as Beatriz grabs a hold of an arm, limb, ponytail, actually, Irina has short hair, but literally anything, it's just going to be a downhill fucking fight from there. I had Beatriz is going to go out there, get it done by submission. Wouldn't be surprised if it was in the first round while they're still dry. She's a problem, man. And like you said, I mean, if she goes out there in dominant fashion, gets a win, she might only be a couple fights away from obviously a win here. 2-3, like you said, by that 4th fight, she might
be a contender, bro.
Yeah.
Like the 4th fight might actually be for a title. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thin division.
And I didn't even see any of these fucking comments from Lazy Bed, which are perfect. He said, I'm telling you now, Bia Mosquita is one to watch. The lady goat of BJJ, multiple time BJJ champion, a literal Guinness Book World Record holder, training out of ATT Coconut Creek with Kayla Harrison, Dakota Decheva, and so many others. The only knock on her is she's 34, but women's bantamweight is the equivalent to men's heavyweight. Age is not as much of an issue.
Yep. I mean, look at the champ now, Kayla Harrison, right? And she's probably
he hasn't fought past the 2nd round. You're right. I don't think she needs to though. Like nope. she gets people where they're still driving.
Yep.
Like that's tough.
Problem. Just a problem, dude. Jumping
Lazy
off
Bed
people's
said,
backs, it's
fights were
nuts.
won getting off the bus. Petrino would be undefeated. Bro's first team.
He is definitely first team all body. He is.
Facts.
If I could jump into a body, it's probably that physique. 100%.
Thomas gutting it out, literally. Yes, he's gonna have to gut it out. With that, we'll go ahead and move into the next bout because it sounds like it's a sweep on Mesquita. We're going into the flyweight division, boys and girls, for a bout between Lucas Roca and Stuart Nicole. Nano, we got 29-year-old Nicole versus 25-year-old Roca. How do you see this one playing out in the flyweight division?
This is a fun one, my brother. This is a fun one. Stylistically, both these guys are going to go out there, swing and bang. Stuart Nicole, a.k.a. Kakamora, coming out of Australia, so he's making the journey over to Brazil. He's going to have 5 years of age. I guess he's 5 years older. Should have phrased it that way. Going to have 1 inch reach advantage. I like Stuart's style, but I really, really like Lucas Roca. I do think Filho has a really good skill set. And it's like, I don't know why, but just when I was watching him fight, I almost felt like I was watching a little bit of a BJ Penn. Not saying he's straight up BJ Penn, but just his body type, his free flowing kind of style. And he's not an imposing guy, right? We're talking about Vitor Petrino. Lucas looks like I probably did in middle school, but dude is really, really talented. Coming off a tough loss against, we talked about him earlier, Clayton Carpenter. Don't hold out against him at all. Other than that, he's 17-2. Found a TKO finish on the Dana White Contender Series about 2 years ago. Everything's ahead of him. I guess this could be a learning lesson for the young kid here, Lucas, at 25. If he were to lose, it might just be maybe like fight IQ, maybe some situational awareness, just not being able to get the upper hand. But I do like his style. I do think he's going to find a way to win. And again, maybe I'm biased, man. I'm probably leaning too much on the home court advantage. Again, Brazilians typically haven't really done that well. But this is a really, really close pick. It's a virtual pick 'em where you're getting Lucas at -118 and Stuart at -102. So tell you what, boys and girls, flip a coin. Probably a safe bet. How you feeling, brother? Are you heads or tails on that coin? How you feeling about this bout?
I like Roca, man. I like Roca in this one. I think you might be onto something. We're riding with Brazil. Both guys are 4-1 in their last 5, but I think Roca is the one to watch here, man. He looked really good against Davi Bittencourt on his Dana White's Contender Series bout, which got him the chance to fight in the UFC bracket or umbrella. He won, of course, by knee in round number 2. Just stepped that knee right up into his opponent, and that's all she wrote. And of course, he came in against Clayton Carpenter, and he lost via rear naked choke in round number 2. It happens, man. It happens. But I just think he sizes up a little bit better against Stuart Nicole. Nicole is a little bit more of a fresh opposition for him, right? And I think this is a chance for him to get right back on the wagon. He has twice as many fights, more than twice as many fights as his opponent. And I think that is definitely going to be something worth paying attention to. That experience does not go away. That experience stays with you forever. And it builds great fight IQ from what I've seen. So, man, I love this fight for Roca. I think that he can get it done. He's -118. I think my connection got.
Oh, I was going to say, it was paused for a minute. Honestly, I thought it was me. I was like, oh, no, did I freeze?
I literally looked up. I was like, was it me? Was it him? Which one was it? But yeah, as I was saying, I think Roca is the guy to bet on here. He's a slight favorite in the slightest of fashions, and I just think he's the better guy. Lazy bet. Yeah. Indeed.
Right.
Especially while I'm on the hard wire. Like, this definitely shouldn't be happening. I have the hard wire internet going, boys. What's happening here? Speaking of what's happening, what is happening in this next fight? Walter Walker is back again, boys and girls, and this time it is a battle of the family names. Walkers versus Usmans. Man, this is going to be a banger in the heavyweight division. Walter Walker is, of course, a heel hook specialist, submission specialist in general, and Muhammad Usman is just a big, hulking beast of a human being. Nano, do you have a dog in this race? Do you have a favorite here? Are you excited about this fight?
I am super excited, my brother. I mean, is this the third heavyweight fight we're covering on this card? I mean, man, all the big boys came to play.
Oh, don't save your intel there. Unfortunately, this fight is off. Mo Usman pulled out.
What?
Wow,
did this just happen? How did we miss that? I did a whole breakdown. I was ready to talk. What happened? Muhammad didn't want to get heel hooked?
Looking it up right now. I guess.
He just didn't want to.
Yeah, 5 hours ago, Muhammad Usman out of UFC Rio heavyweight bout against Walter Walker. Let's see why he pulled out.
Hours before weigh-in. They don't want to see that.
Especially when you weigh 265. Like, what are you cutting?
How big are you? Shout out to chat for putting us on game here. Yeah, sheesh.
Damn. He looked good in that win over Hamdi Abdelwahab.
He did. I was excited for this fight. I thought
back in there, man.
Have a lot to fight for, like you said, the brothers of legendary fighters, of guys that are staples in their respective divisions.
A whole bit on that.
I know, dude. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what it is. I thought Walter was gonna go out there and take care of business. So
same.
I don't know if I want to see them match up again. I feel like they both can do a lot individually. You put two stars together, a little bit of that Icarus effect, as we like to say. I don't know. I mean, and it's a bummer. I mean, pulling out like that, like hours before you flew to Brazil, you did everything, and maybe there's an injury, maybe the weight cut didn't go as planned. I mean, we're obviously just.
I almost wonder if they're going to pull a regional guy off and get him to fight Walter, just to keep him on the card.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. I mean, what they'd have to. Well, it's Thursday, and they haven't weighed in yet. To your point, so someone can show up ready. Especially at heavyweight. I mean, hopefully a lot of these guys don't necessarily have to cut weight. Hopefully.
I'd imagine a light heavyweight would be down to step up to fight Walter.
Could see that too.
And yeah, Lazy's with you, man. He thinks Mo wanted to save that heel. You're not wrong, kid. You're not wrong.
No heels are safe with Walter in the octagon. I know that much.
I know that.
Damn. RIP. Would have been a good one.
Speaking of good ones, we have a good one in the women's strawweight division next to talk about. It is Julia Polastri and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I've got to tell you, one of the nicest, most genuine human beings that I have ever met that fights professionally. She's, I can truly say, wholeheartedly the reason that my significant other started training with me after our first year at UFCX. Talked to my significant other for like 5 minutes while we were stuck there waiting to get a picture with the next guy on the line on the stage. And like, just after that conversation, Mary was she was hooked, man. She's like, all right, I'm going to watch more cards with you. I want to fucking go train, see why you love this so much. And then she trained and she loved it. And the rest, as they say, is history. So with that, you can tell I'm going to have a little bit of bias coming into this one. So I'll let Nano take the lead, and then I'll sprinkle my bias on the top of whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you may want to plug your ears. Mary, you as well. You're not going to like what I'm going to have to say here, so I'll be respectful. Carolina's an absolute beast. She's had a great career, 39 years old. Can only give her flowers and give credit where it's due. She's fought her ass off for a long time here in the UFC. Unfortunately, of recent, you're seeing that it's a young person's game, right? She's going up against the new crop of talent coming in, that new generation, as Ilya coined. Loss against Aizmin Lucindo and another loss to Diniz Gomes. Just makes me feel like I can't put my money on a Karolina. As much as I love her and appreciate what she's done for the sport, Julia Polastri is somebody that is poised to go out there and take care of business. On paper, you look at the youth, you look at, well, actually, she has a 1 inch reach disadvantage. I was going to say she's going to come in bigger, but no, they're about the same size. But I will say, and it's all in the name there, Julia Psycho Polastri, she fights with a little bit of an edge. She's got that mean bone in her body, whether it's just the mean mug or going out there and want to really hurt her opponents. That's what she's going to go out there and try and do. But she's really young in her career. I mean, I'm sure you're going to touch on the fact that sometimes experience and knowing what to expect in there can certainly give you an advantage. She's 1-2 in the UFC, so this is kind of do or die situation. She really needs to go out there and win in her backyard. I'm leaning Julia. And with that being said, tell the people why you think Double K is going to shock the world.
Well, I'll tell you, man. First and foremost, as always, great breakdown. Even when I disagree, you do a great job. Now that being said, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, let's jump back, right? She made her amateur bout debut in MMA against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, a name you may have heard of, back in 2012.
Legend.
Then she went on a, 8-9 fight win streak when she went pro against people like, again, you might not know some of these names, so I'm just going to bear with me here. Marcina Łojas, right? Paulina Bonkowska, Marta Czarnowska, Simona Supova, Jasminka Khiva, Mizuki Inoue, Kalindra Faria, and now here's some names you might know. Randa Marcos, Heather Jo Clark, Rose Namajunas. You recognize any of those names? Yeah, those were all on that win streak. And then that win streak came to a conclusion in 2016, where she faced the champion at the time, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, again. Okay, and then after that, she fought Claudia Gadelha when she was at the top of her game in 2017. By the way, Joanna couldn't finish her. She just couldn't do it. Unanimous decision, but she could not get her out of there. Then she went out there, beat Jodie Esquibel and Felice Herrig, and then this is where it gets dicey, right? Because she went on a 5-loss streak, which was tough. But let's look at who they were too. At least 3 out of 5 of them were 2 world-class people that either are or could have been champions in their prime. Jessica Andrade, 2018. Michelle Gomez, 2019 / Michelle Watterson. Alexa Grasso, 2019. Yan Xiaonan, 2020. Jessica Penne Pasta, 2021. It's the only one that I think she probably should have won, right? Out of those fights. Because, let's be honest, the rest of those people were absolute world breakers in that time. Then she comes back, beats Diana Belpita, pretty much retires her. Silvana Gomez Juarez beats her. Vanessa Demopoulos beats her, which we love her as well, but still, wins a win, baby. And then she comes out there and loses to Yasmin Lucindo and Denise Gomes. Now, I mean, come on, bro. Like, the losses on her record are notable names. They're notable names. And I just don't think that Julia Pilastri is going to be able to go out there and do a whole lot to her when she's been put down by Lupita Godinez and Josephine Knudsen, right? Like, Knudsen's a beast. So is Lupita, right? I love Loopy. But I digress, man. If you can lose a decision fight to those two, you will lose a decision fight to Karolina Kowalkiewicz. With her experience, with her Muay Thai acumen, I think she's going to clinch the fuck out of Julia Pilastri and land knees to the body like it's nobody's business. I think she's going to do a lot of body work in this fight, and I think it's going to make a lot of Muay Thai fans salivate watching this shit, brother. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for this fight. I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner in women's strawweight. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the last bout of the night, shall we? It is a bantamweight bout between Luan Lacerda and Simon Oliveira. So we have an Oliveira starting it and an Oliveira closing it. I love that. Also, something else I love, it's worth saying, I'm going to do a unit on Karolina Kowalkiewicz. It's 1 unit to win 5. So again, if you put $50 on it, you get $250 back. I'm going to throw a unit down on it. I'm not telling you to follow me on that, anybody. But if you do, let me know next week when you cash that fucking ticket. Nano, this fight is going to be a fucking barn burner. It's going to be a fun one in the bantamweight division to start things off. And I'll be honest, I've kind of gone back and forth a little bit on who I think I'm going to go with, but I think I landed on Lacerda, right? Both guys are fighting out of Brazil. He's a slight favorite here is Lacerda. He is minus 265. His opponent, Simon Oliveira, is plus 215. And I think there's a reason for that. And I think that main reason is Lacerda's grappling. He has a vast majority, to the tune of 83% of all of his wins, coming by way of submission. And he's fought in the best organizations, right? He's fought in LFA. He's fought in UFC. Granted, he's 0-2 in the UFC. But again, let's look at who he's lost to. He lost to Cody Stamann, the Spartan, back in 2023, and Damon Blackshear, right? So, and when he lost to the Spartan, correct me if I'm wrong here, isn't that like the week that the Spartan's brother died? So like he needed to blow off some aggression, and he went out like he was crying, walking to the octagon. That's a scary dude, bro. Not someone I'd want to fight.
No chance.
So again, worth noting, bro. Like, and he's got solid wins outside of the UFC in Chuto Brazil and LFA. And I just think he's the better fighter, slightly more well-rounded, and he's longer, right? He's or he's taller at least. He's 5'7" coming in against the 5'4" opponent, and there's only a half-inch reach difference in favor of his opponent. So his opponent's going to be punching up by a couple inches, and I don't think that half-inch that he brings to the table is really going to present a whole lot of problems for Luan Lacerda. So give me Lacerda. I think he gets it done. I'm not going to bet on this one. I don't know how he gets it done, but I definitely think he's a favorite for a reason. I'm riding the coattails of Vegas on this one. Nano, what do you think?
I like it. I agree with you, brother. But I do want to pose a question. Do you think the 2-year layoff is a concern at all? 2 and 4 months after that loss against Damon Blackshear, hasn't fought since. Does that give you any trepidations on the pick?
I mean, if you think about it, right, it's the first and only time he's had a knockout loss. And he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, he's got most of his wins by submission. He's been submitted one time. That probably wasn't a hard pill for him to swallow. Getting knocked out will change somebody. I do think that it's going to be something, right? The issue is I don't know if that something is going to be a good something or a bad something. And that's because if he took the time off to recover, to get better, to do things in the right fashion, it's going to pay dividends for him coming back in after this 2-year layoff. If he took it off because he felt like he was gun shy, he had some kind of mental issues going on after that knockout, that's going to be different, right? Because he can't be gun shy in there against this kind of opponent. He will go out there and get finished. But yeah, I'm here to see it. It's again, that's one of the reasons that I'm not betting on this, man. I just I can't do it. Lazy Bed said another ATT fighter training out of the same Coconut Creek gym. Want KK to pull out the W and call it a career, but I worry. Dude, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I'm telling you, bro, she's an all-time legend. I want her to get the win and probably call it a career as well, but we'll see, man. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but I do like Luan in this. I wanted to pose the question because that caught me off guard a little bit, but if I'm being honest, when you turn the tape on and you just let it roll, you're going to like what you see from a Luan Lacerda. Obviously, a couple losses to some really tough opponents, right? A Cody Stamen and a Damon. I don't hold that against him too much. Prior to that, he had a good streak in LFA, but I really like the striking pedigree. I do think that the leg kicks and his ability to mix them up will give him the edge. As much as I do like a Simon Oliveira, he's got that really like light front foot, the traditional Muay Thai stance, just stays in his box. And I do love that style. I think it matches up well with a lot of people, but he leaves some openings, and he's the type of fighter that wants to get one or give one, but he's going to get one as well, right? And that was not a good place to be in. And you look at the losses. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate for him. Loss to Tony Gravely, decision. Things happen. Next opponent, Daniel Marcos, 13-0, gets TKO'd. And Daniel Marcos is a stud. I like him a lot, so I don't necessarily hold that against him too much. And then a David Martinez, who KO'd him as well. But if we recall, David Martinez just went out there and beat a Javi Fanch. I mean, that's a problem, okay? I think Simon is going to allow us to see a really good fight. I think these guys are going to go out there. They put them first for a reason. Like to start off with some fireworks. It's like baseball. You want to have a good contact hitter that's going to get on base as that number one spot. That's why I think this is here. We're going to see some fun striking. We're going to see a heavy Muay Thai from Simon Oliveira. And I did take the other Oliveira, so I'm covered. I got one of the Oliveiras on my picks, but I'm not going to take this one. I am leaning Luan Lacerda. Like you said, I mean, at 32, I guess from 30 to 32, I don't mind that layoff as much. If it was a little later in the career, I might have some more caution. But no cautionary tale here. I think Luan should go out there, get it done. -265 favorite. Sign me up. Violence, baby. Let's go. And this is starting a little early, if I do recall, right? We are in Brazil. I think it's going to be around 1 o'clock Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see when the card starts.
So make sure you tune in early, y'all.
Yeah, prelims start at 1 p.m. Be an early card. I'm not mad at it, man.
Not too shabby. We'll take it. It's going to be a good one.
Get up in the morning, get some coffee, maybe watch the second Tron movie with the ladies so that way we can go see the new one on Sunday.
Okay, I was going to say, okay. Is it the third one then?
Yes, the first one came out in 1982. I'm not going to make her watch
that. Right. Yeah, fair.
Okay, I went back and watched it when the second one came out, so that way I'd be caught up on the lore, but it was very old graphics, man. So I'm not gonna subject her to that. I showed her some pictures from it today, and she's like, thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. I'll give you the cliff notes.
Yeah. We'll watch a YouTube recap on that one.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely with you. We're in the same boat here on Luan Lacerda, and why the fuck not, man? Why the fuck not? Look, this is going to be one hell of a fight card. As soon as this video ends, do us a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. You know the drill, folks, if you haven't already. And once it does end, refresh the stream. Leave a comment. Let us know what fight you're most excited for this weekend. And let us know if you're betting. Who are you betting on? Why are you confident in that bet? And tell us why we should and likely will tell you. Nano, before we call it a show, should we put together let's see here, a quick cycle parlay?
We definitely should. Y'all. I think we're trying out some new shindigs here. We got to bounce back. I mean, our last one certainly did not go the way we wanted. But I think it's time for a little cycling.
I've already got mine built.
Okay, I like it.
And I'm sitting at plus 5,001 odds. Yeah. I'm gonna do a half unit on this to get back 25 and a half units. So again, if your unit size is $50, you put 25 on that, you get $1,275.31 back. Now, here's the picks. I got Karolina Kowalkiewicz to win by decision. I got Joel Alvarez to win by submission, and I got Montel Quick Jackson to get it done by KO, TKO, or DQ. Half unit.
I like it. Oh man, okay. I'm trying to find my decision, which for whatever reason feels harder. Like when you have to say they're gonna get a decision.
The decision is the hardest one for me every single time.
Oh man,
because I'm always like, oh, he's got heavy hands, he's gonna win by knockout. Oh, he's got 15 or 17 fucking submissions on his resume. He's probably gonna go out there and snatch something up.
But then I mean, honestly.
Then you're like, who's going to be good enough to win, but not quite strong enough to get a finish?
Oh, man. Okay. I know I want Beatriz in there. Honestly, I think she's going to get a sub. I think you have her up for knockout.
I didn't put her on there.
Oh, you didn't have her? Okay. No, I'm going to put Beatriz in there. And I think she's going to get the KO. Or, excuse me, submission.
Sub, okay. That's a fair one. I like that one. Let's see. I'm going to build this one with you so that we can tell them the live odds. So we got Beatriz by submission. Not a bad pick. Minus 125 on that. Excuse me.
And then, man.
You do Vitor for your knockout.
Yep. I was literally going to say Vitor for knockout. Did you put that too?
No.
Did you read my mind? That's literally.
I just read your mind. I was looking at the odds and I was like, still juice, but I think he gets it done that way. So.
Dude, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's exactly what I was on the tip of my tongue, literally. My boy. High minded as always, man. So yeah, Vitor Petrino by KO. Think he'll take care of Thomas Petersen. Someone's in the floor in that one. Money in the bank. Say what you think. Oh baby. Okay. Man, I got to go with my gut. I'm going Ricardo Ramos, Mr. Spinning Elbows.
I swear, I literally had my mouse hovering over it.
Oh, dude. It's odd. They're jumping out, are they not? It feels like they're bold.
You know what's funny is you and me right now are almost the complete opposite on our picks last week for the cycle. Like, I think I had like plus 860 or plus 880, and you had like plus 6,000. I have plus 5,000, and you have plus 973 right now.
Okay, there we go.
So again, half unit, if you put 25 on that, you got 268.31 coming back. Not a bad deal.
Dude, let's go. I like this shit. I like this, man. We've done some different parlays. Or different betting styles, games, competitions. But this is a fun one. And if y'all want in, hit the chat. Comment after. If y'all, if we see it in time, we'll put one in and we'll review it next week. So
yeah, let us know your cycle parlays in the chat, so that way next week we can make sure we shout you guys out whenever they hit, or if they even come close.
In general, Dixon Cider, I'm talking to you. You always end up hitting on the long shots. Please leave a comment. Let us know. Let everyone else know so we could all get on that W train and get some money.
This guy's gonna pick fucking Mesquita to get her first win in the third round. get like
no,
plus
probably hit
2,000
too.
odds
That's
and
son of a
it'll
gun.
hit.
Yeah, that's a Dixon Cider for you. That's DC
They don't tell
ball.
us the next week. Fucking gay.
Gotta love it.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate every one of you for being here. Again, please like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. You know the drill. And again, if you do none of the things we've asked you to do, if you disagree with all our picks, that's fine. We still appreciate you for being here. And all that we ask is that you do these next two things. And that's that you keep on going and you keep on growing. We hope to see you next time, folks. Let's go.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.